Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. On a crowded train bound for New York, the tension was palpable. Emily Jackson, a young black fighter renowned for her exploits in mixed martial arts, had just finished a self-defense seminar. Exhausted but satisfied, she settled into an empty window seat, placing her gym bag at her feet. A few minutes later, a middle-aged white man, his face contorted with arrogance, stepped forward. Without even looking her in the eyes, he said to her in a sharp voice, "Hey, you. You have to give up that seat, I need it." Emily raised an eyebrow, surprised by the rudeness, but remained calm. "Excuse me, but this is my seat, and it's not reserved," she replied calmly. The man burst out laughing, a dry, condescending laugh. "Don't make me laugh. I don't like seeing people like you taking seats that don't belong to you." At that moment, Emily felt a cold anger rising within her. It wasn't the first time someone had tried to humiliate her because of the color of her skin, but this time, she wasn't going to let it happen. With a swift and precise movement, she stood up, took a step toward him, and, with the control that had earned her her nickname in competitions, gently but firmly pinned him against the back of the seat. The other passengers, shocked, watched the scene. Emily, in a firm but controlled voice, murmured, "I am just as human as you, and I don't have to put up with your insults." The man, speechless and unable to move, felt for the first time the weight of the humiliation he had been inflicting on others for years. The entire train car held its breath. And what happened next would go viral on social media, shocking the entire country. Emily Jackson, still buzzing with adrenaline, calmly returned to her seat. Her gaze never left the man who had just tried to humiliate her. With her bag resting on her lap, she noticed several passengers whispering amongst themselves, some discreetly taking photos with their phones. The man, Malcolm Turner, was an influential lawyer but known for his arrogance and prejudices. He attempted to regain his authority by launching, "You dare challenge me? You don't know who you're dealing with." Emily, unperturbed, simply replied, "I know exactly who I'm dealing with, someone who thinks their skin color gives them more rights than others." Tension rose in the train car. Malcolm, red with anger, tried to raise his voice to attract security's attention, but Emily, with her poise and composure, held everyone's gaze. A courageous passenger intervened. "Sir, she's right. You can't act like that in a public space." Publicly humiliated and unable to find a way out, Malcolm was silenced. Emily, on the other hand, felt a thrill of satisfaction. This small victory was symbolic. But she didn't know that this simple affront would trigger a series of events that would expose Malcolm to far greater humiliation. No sooner had the train departed than phone screens lit up with video of the incident, and social media began to erupt. Emily had just transformed an everyday injustice into a lesson in courage and dignity. The next morning, Malcolm Turner woke up with a migraine and unusual anxiety. Emily Jackson's video, posted on social media, had gone viral. Within hours, it had been shared thousands of times, accompanied by comments denouncing his racism and arrogance. At the office, his colleagues looked at him with a mixture of curiosity and embarrassment. Emails of protest and calls from disgruntled clients were starting to pile up. Even his law partner, a normally forgiving man, shook his head. "Malcolm, you know this situation is going to stick with you for a long time." Furious and humiliated, Malcolm decided to take action. He rushed home to try and contact Emily and ask her to remove the video. But when he checked social media, he discovered that his face had been identified everywhere. His office, his address, and even his past legal cases were already circulating online. The public demanded a public apology. Meanwhile, Emily, aware of the impact of her video, wasn't trying to humiliate Malcolm for no reason. She simply wanted to show that no one, regardless of their status or skin color, can abuse others with impunity. She received messages of support from all over town, and some martial arts groups even offered her rewards for her courage. What Malcolm didn't yet know was that this simple incident on the train would turn into a legal case, not against Emily, but against him. His discriminatory remarks and arrogant behavior had been filmed, and the law was starting to get involved. A few days after the train incident, Malcolm Turner went to court to defend an important client. He thought he could ignore the incident with Emily, but fate had other plans. He had barely entered the courtroom when he heard a general murmur. Journalists were present, and Emily's video was already playing on every phone screen. The judge, a black woman known for her integrity, immediately asked, "Mr. Turner, are you aware that your behavior on the train was filmed and widely circulated?" Malcolm, caught off guard, tried to downplay it. "It was a misunderstanding, Your Honor." But the judge didn't flinch. "A misunderstanding that shocked the entire city. Your words and your attitude are unacceptable, and they have attacked the dignity of a citizen." The journalists jotted down notes feverishly, and the entire room seemed to hold its breath. Emily, called to testify, entered calmly. She recounted the scene precisely, explaining how Malcolm had tried to humiliate her for no reason. Her voice was calm but firm, each word resonating powerfully in the room. The court then played the video of the incident for everyone to see. Malcolm felt his reputation crumble instantly. The murmurs turned into stifled laughter, then shocked stares. The colleagues and clients present understood that the great lawyer had just suffered one of the biggest setbacks of his career. At the end of the hearing, the judge handed down a symbolic but highly significant sentence. Malcolm had to publicly apologize, not only to Emily but also to the public, for his racist and humiliating behavior. The video would remain as proof that no one, however powerful or influential, is above respect and human dignity. Emily left the courthouse with her head held high. It wasn't just a personal victory, but a message to all those who thought arrogance and racism could go unnoticed. Malcolm, on the other hand, would now have to live with the public shame and humbling lesson he had just received. A few weeks after the incident and the trial, Emily Jackson's life went on, but something surprising happened. She received an unexpected invitation. A major mixed martial arts sponsorship company wanted to meet with her to propose a partnership and offer her a platform to teach and inspire young people across the country. Meanwhile, Malcolm Turner's career was rapidly declining. His clients began to turn away from him, his business partners lost faith in him, and his colleagues whispered behind his back. The video of the incident had gone viral, and even national media outlets were still broadcasting it, reminding everyone of the price of arrogance and racism. But the real bombshell came at a public conference on diversity and inclusion. Emily was invited as a keynote speaker. Malcolm, ironically, was on the panel of guests, to discuss professional and ethical responsibility. When Emily stepped onto the stage, she addressed the audience forcefully. "What you saw on that train wasn't just an individual confrontation. It was a lesson in respect, dignity, and courage. And believe me, no one is too small to stand up for what is right." The crowd erupted in applause. Malcolm, humiliated in front of everyone, realized he was no longer just a man ridiculed online, but a living symbol of the consequences of hatred and arrogance. He tried to speak, but Emily completely ignored him, giving him no opportunity to defend himself or justify his actions. At the end of the conference, Emily was cheered by hundreds of young people and professionals who had been inspired by her strength and dignity. Malcolm left the room with his head down, while Emily was now recognized not only as an exceptional fighter, but as a symbol of justice and courage in the face of racism. The message was clear: humiliation and hatred may seem powerful at first, but dignity and courage always triumph in the end.